Hello again everyone, and welcome back again for another build. Today's build is going to be a continuation of my last video when I did an overview of the DIY-PC case. If you want to see that, go ahead and click that link there. But anyways, let's get started on what I'm going to be doing here in this case. When we last left off, I said I was going to tear this stuff out, and as you can see, I have it all ground out of there. I have to smoothen it down a little bit better than what I have. I'm going to do that later because I have some more stuff to do. I just wanted to do some test fitting first and do a video on that. And as you can see, I've got the motherboard that I'm going to be using, the Asus P6T Deluxe version 2 X58. This is going to be a fun one to build in. This is a full featured board. As you can see here, it's got 4 PCI Express slots here. If you can see the Wi-Fi there on top of that one, and then one for the video card. And then down below, I'm hoping to do a NVMe and SATA combo card. And then below that, I'd like to do a USB 3.0 add-on. But if you look at this right here, on that bottom slot, you'll notice that it's actually part of the case. It's that's kind of a joke there, the way they did that. So I don't know that I can utilize that bottom slot unless I take the Dremel to that too, and I don't know. I'll have to decide what I'm going to do with that, and I guess you'll find out coming up here what I do with it. But and then up in the corner there, see where the EPS is. Let me shine my light there a little better. As you can see, there's no room to get any cables through, so you have to, like I said, lead it from the power supply over to the EPS, which is kind of a jumbled mess, and I want to kind of eliminate that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Dremel, I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie so I know where to cut, but I'm going to take my Dremel and I'm going to kind of groove into that area so I can get that EPS through the back instead of having to cross over like that. And I'm going to open up maybe that back a little bit more too, so I can get this cable for the this power cable for the 92 millimeter fan in the back through there. That way that's not in the way. I'm not going to plug it into this board because this board only has one PWM, and that would be right up here where the CPU is. So I'm actually going to draw off the PWM from that header right there and lead that into a splitter for the front. Then what I'm thinking I'm going to try to do here is put an AIO in this, and that way I could just run the AIO, all the fans on that PWM plus that PWM. That way it kind of keeps the system kind of quiet. This Noctua hopefully is going to be on the PWM chain as well. I think I got some extra extensions and shit that'll make this work. But that should make for a pretty quiet PC, but also can ramp up and keep things cool when it needs to. I mean, I guess it's kind of a cheating using an AIO in here. I guess I should have ran something like, like a regular mounted one there and did some thermal checks on this, but yeah, screw that, man. This is a $35 case. Like, I'm gonna spend the time doing stupid ass thermal checks for you. If you're too cheap to go out and spend some decent money on a decent case with decent thermals, what the hell are you doing trying to see what kind of thermals you're gonna get on a $35 case? Really, seriously. I'm just doing this for fun, but maybe you might learn something about building in this damn thing by the time I'm done, guys. But yeah, so I like getting back to this. I got this tore out. We're gonna hopefully do an AIO there, another fan there. We're gonna see if a fan fits up there. It looks like it does. I measured it and it looked like it would. But so I'm thinking we're gonna have 5 fans total going on here, 6 if you count this one venting out. So that's kind of a 6 fan setup is what we're gonna do here, and we're gonna do, of course, some RGB. I have different brands on the shelf. I got Corsair, I got Deep Cool, I've got some Easy DIY Fab. I got Asia Horse up there. I got some what was those Abco in cores I could use. Maybe I might use those damn spider fans. Remember those, the video on that? Yeah. Maybe I might do that. Because I can get 4 of those in here. 4 spiders. But we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to go with yet, because I was actually planning to do some RGB around this area too as well. So I'm going to cut here, and I'll get back after I've progressed a little bit more on this. So let's look at what I've done so far with the back. Right here is where the power supply mounts, of course. So what I did is I got in there with my Dremel, and I kind of cut away this little area right here. It's not, it's kind of sharp, I guess, you know, because it's thin metal. But, you know, I got the Dremel in there with a nice sanding bit, and not too bad. So that should be good enough to just fit some EPS wires through, and even the wire for the 92mm fan, which we'll see right here. I'll go right in there nicely. There we go. Now we can lead that out. And yeah, so let's keep progressing along and see how this goes. So the build's finished, and to my amazement, it actually went really, really well. You can see the 3 fans in the front that I have in there. I decided to go with some deep cool CF120s in here, mainly because those are PWM fans, and I wanted to tie into the PWM connector on the inside there, and you just don't really get that kind of control with like the DIY Fab or the Asia Horse or those other brands. So I figured DIY Fab is a nice brand to use, or no, excuse me, the Deep Cool is a nice brand to use for these. And another reason I decided to go with the Deep Cools is the RGB in it is a lot easier to set up, in my opinion, especially since I'm using some other stuff on the inside here, like the RGB on the M.2 controller here, and of course the RGB on the RAM and the RGB on this. You know, I wanted them all to synchronize with the front there, as you can see it is doing, and I just kind of figured that was the easiest way to do it, was with those CF120s. Now you can see I also got the AIO going on in here. Get my light there. You can see this went in rather well. There's their top fan. There's a bit of a gap right here. I could have drilled some holes in there for a little more airflow, but I said, nah, let's just not get too picky about this. But as you can see, I did get the extensions in here. Like I talked about before, wanted to try the extensions. To my amazement, I was able to close that back up. But I did have to make a couple compromises to get the extensions in. Down here is one of those. You can see this jumbled mess. I could probably clean this up a little bit more. But a lot of the, like the RGB wires and stuff, I actually just brought in from down below there and kind of tie strap those down. Same thing with up on top here. If I can get my light in there a little bit, maybe. Maybe not. Let me get my flashlight. You can see there's the Deep Cool PWM splitter right there, and right here you can actually see the RGB controller for the fans, which is also tied into the rest of the RGB. And then back here in that corner where I showed you before that I dremelled that out. You can see that the EPS went in there just fine. I had no problems. That way it's not leading across there. It doesn't look so goddamn sloppy. 92mm fan in the back. Not bad. Not bad. The rest of this system is it's basically all X58. I'm using a little trick here to get the NVMe drive in here to boot off of the 2242 SATA drive that's connected into here right there. Also got some Bluetooth going on, some Wi-Fi, GTX 1650 Super. I was going to put a RX, or excuse me, a 5500 XT in here. and do some Mac OS on here, because, you know, an NVIDIA card just doesn't really cut it with Mac OS too well. But I decided to not go with the Mac OS, and I just went with the Windows install on here. And I thought, well, since it's Windows, we'll go with the GTX in here. And so I put the 1650 in there. I didn't really want to go anything higher than that on an X58. I mean, this is the CPU is an X5675 Xeon, decent chip. You know, even by today's standards, even though it's an old chip, it's still decent, and you can get some actually pretty decent gaming out of it if you're a gamer. But I actually just had the chip laying around, and I actually got a great deal on the motherboard. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done an X58, because the motherboards still are kind of expensive when you're looking for an X58 board, and it's kind of hard to find a decent one unless you go with like that Chinese shit. But like I said, I got a great deal on this one from well, what the hell is that website? I can't even think of the name, but oh, Upcycle Computer Works. They were selling one. And so I snatched this sucker up because I needed an X58 board for the Xeon chip I had there in my stockpile. And, of course, I had tons of, you know, spare memory all over. I always got DDR3 all over the place. And so, yeah, I just slapped something together that was an ATX and put it into this case. And it really did work rather well. I mean, I like I said, I'm actually kind of surprised that this went in here so well. Now, one thing you're going to notice is you're not going to see any, like up here, right there, or even down there. You don't see any hard drives at all. No SSDs, no, you know. I could put 3 more 2.5-inch SSDs or hard drives in there if I wanted to for more storage. So if you're using like a traditional modern motherboard, even though this is a $35 case, you could actually stuff quite a bit into it. I mean, as you can see, I've got all kinds of shit stuffed into this one. Typically, you know, like on the newer boards, you know, you'll have like an M.2 up here and maybe another one down here where you got your drive space, and you don't need to utilize the space in here. So, I mean, this case is $35, but hey, you know what? You can make something out of it. I did. Let me cut this scene right here, and I'm going to, excuse me, I got the hiccups. I'm going to put the plexiglass on it real quick, and we'll see what this thing looks like completed. So the first thing you're going to notice with the plexiglass on is it's actually a lot darker now. This is kind of a smoke-tinted plexiglass. So, you know, if you've got some bright RGB in there, that'll kind of dim them down a little bit, but it looks pretty decent. I was thinking of putting a fan up here, and, you know, I could have fit one up there, but I thought, nah, it's all my wires and stuff there. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to try to jumble that around, and it wasn't really going to do too much good anyways, having that fan in there. I think with the 3 fans here, and plus the fan in the back, and plus, of course, you got the fan up on top there on the power supply. We can actually turn that off if we want. I think that's some pretty good flow here. Let's open up just real quick, just to see. CPU ID, we'll under HW monitor here real quick. And let me see what the thermals run. I've had this running here for just a little bit. Okay. 42 degrees on that. Looks like our lowest was, what, 39 degrees on the third core there. Max, I mean, that's our idle temp. But then again, this is a Xeon. They do run a little bit hotter than what your standard CPU will be. I don't think that temperature's too bad, but then again, I don't think it's that great. I don't know if I can attribute that to the AIO not getting enough flow. I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, you've seen in the last couple cutscenes how much I cut out there. So it's got, you know, some pretty good flow going into it. no heat coming out from the top there inside when you feel inside. I mean, it all feels cool. I think that's just, you know, the way the CPU is. You know, there's not really much I can do about it. But the thermals aren't too bad. They're actually better than what I was expecting, believe it or not. But yeah, that's going to be it for this build, guys. I guess I'll probably sell this one. I don't really have any real use for it. I just wanted to try out this case. Don't know when my next build's going to be. Who knows? Don't know what I'm going to cover. I still want to do a Hackintosh, and I actually have a board over here. Show you that. I was thinking of doing that one on this one. Or else I got another X58 I could do if I wanted to do X58. I'm not sure. I got to find the right case for it, too. I was talking with John. He's the one that makes the 678 cases. I did a video on that one too, and he has a new design coming out for that. And I told him when he gets that new design in to let me know, because you know John lives in town here, to let me know when that 678 case is ready, and I would do a build in that one, and I think that's the one I want to do the ITX Hackintosh into, and hopefully that comes out real soon. But I don't know what other projects I've got going on beforehand. But anyways, to sum this up, you know, $35 if you're one of those persons you want to build a gaming computer, and the case is just kind of one of those things that's just kind of cutting into your budget. You know, this case like this, $35, you know, I showed it like in the overview video where it was on Newegg and what have you. This is a good compromise to save yourself some money and invest that extra money that you would normally spend on a case and throw it like into like a better graphics card or something, or a better CPU or whatever you're building. So don't think that $35 is going to get you a piece of crap. Now, the thing about it is, though, for that $35, you will have to do a lot of work on this case to make it fit everything right. You know, I had to Dremel up in there, and I Dremeled down behind here to get that bottom one in. You don't have to Dremel there. You're probably not going to utilize that bottom one like I did. You know, it just happened to be that way in this build. But then, you know, I had to Dremel away all this shit to make that $35 case actually worth a shit. But you know, it pays off with the end result there. I think that looks pretty damn good, actually. But I'm going to cut this video here. I need to snap some photos for builds.gg. You'll be able to check out some pictures of this case there. And that's going to be it for now, guys. I will see you in the next video. I will talk to you all later. I love you all. Bye.